Good day, this is Pat Race reporting from Juneau, Alaska, where lawmakers are about to gavel in on the second session of the 28th Alaska Legislature.
If they can find this.
Damn it, Lou. It's an exciting time of year. Lawmakers are moving back into their offices, pre-filing legislation, and preparing for session. Of course, education is a big issue, but what's on everyone's mind this year is, will the legislature pass gas? For some up-to-date analysis on what to expect from this session, we have Winthorpe Throckmorton and Cornelius Reinhardt. I'm sorry? It sounds like Reinhardt and Throckmorton have had to fly over because of weather and are now stuck in Ketchikan. Instead, we're going to go to Will and Lou at the sports desk.
Caucus.
What?
Thanks, Pat. Wow, what an exciting first half. I mean, wow! The excitement, the speed, the drama. It was amazing, Lou. I haven't seen a half like that since I don't know when.
You know what's even more exciting? I just learned that there are women legislators in Alaska.
Actually, Lou, Alaska has had women lawmakers since 1936, when Flying Nell Scott was part of the territorial legislature. But hey, good energy, guys. What do you think we can expect from the second session of the 28th Alaska Legislature?
There's a lot to watch out for here in this second half. Me personally, I've got my eye on Fred the Refrigerator Dyson.
He's got a nose for the ball.
Speaking of balls, Lou, Kevin the Cannonball Meyer and the Kodiak Kid, Alan Osterman, are you kidding me? They're hot!
We might even see something from the Goot, David Gutenberg, classic slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker? What's a never mind. What else you got?
Like I always said, Will, turnovers will cost you the game, but only if you can't make a goal line stand and milk the clock while in shotgun formation after an onside kick.
It's all about controlling the trenches, Lou, especially with your tight end.
Tight.
Back to you, Pat.
That didn't make a lot of sense. We've got a lot of new faces, though. What about new legislators? Anyone to keep your eye on?
Hell yes, Pat. I've had my eye on Jonathan, the Beast from Southeast, Christ Tompkins.
The Beast! Woo!
Straight out of the Farm League, this kid beat out Wild Bill Thomas for a spot on the team. I think he is going to hit the ground running in this second half, and I think he is going to own this league.
That's second session. They're not halves, they're sessions, and no one's going to own anything. That's not how this works. Christ Tompkins is in the minority. I don't know if we'll see much out of him at all, actually. And he's kind of tiny, so I don't know. Anything else to look out for?
I'll be interested to see how Mike, the Hawkman Hawker, responds after some controversial calls in the first half.
Don't underestimate the veterans like Beth, the Aaron Carton Cartola, and Lyman Hoffman.
The big train.
Chugga, 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 chugga. Woo, woo!
They're still in the game.
Back to you, Patrick.
No one has ever called him the big train. That's not a thing. Come on, guys, work with me. Do you know anything? Do you have any facts that are real?
You want real? Let's take JCOG, for example. Guy came up through the California Penal League.
This guy was hitting frozen ropes.
Chin music.
Turning double plays.
Suicide bunts.
It was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
JCOG? Are you talking about John Coghill? I know for a fact that he never played baseball in the California Penal League.
I'm pretty sure JCOG did play in the California Penal League. In fact, he led the league in ERA in 1972. So what do you think about that?
Let me tell you, Pat, you can only ride a hot goalie for so long, especially if you're putting from the rough and trying to score from downtown. You've got to get into the paint. You can't grip the club too hard, whether you're on the power play or coming down the back nine. Otherwise, you'll end up in the penalty box for high sticking and end up putting from the rough. The rough!
Well, Pat, that's all for sports. Back to you.
Okay, for those of you who don't follow sports, that may have been a little bit confusing. But I think Lou touched on some really important issues there. There's obviously the rough of partisan politics, riding the hot goalie of compromise, and getting inside the paint of helping Alaska's families. Now that we've taken a look at some of the players, let's take a look inside the playbook. There's a lot of exciting pre-filed legislation this session, ranging from automobile headlights to drone technology. One interesting piece of legislation could reduce the Department of Revenue's staff by up to 33%. That's right. With us here to talk about it tonight is Speaker of the House, Representative Mike Chenault. Representative Chenault, why is it that you're trying to eliminate the CBR from the Department of Revenue?
Are you talking about the Constitutional Budget Reserve?
No, I'm talking about House Bill 231, which slashes the CBR, the cattle branding registration.
The branding bill. It's not a big deal, just a little house cleaning of the statutes.
As I understand it, the Department of Revenue only has a few basic duties. They enforce tax law, they manage and invest state funds, and deal with cattle branding registration. Wouldn't eliminating this cut up to a third of that department?
No, that's incorrect. This bill will have very little impact on anyone.
Okay, well, what if my cow gets in your yard? How will we tell them apart?
The branding is still managed by the Department of Agriculture.
Is the beef lobby involved in this in any way? Would you say you're kowtowing to industry?
Listen, I'm a very busy man. I hope you get a good grade on your school project.
Oh, this is a real news program. We're hard-hitting report. Okay, look, we got a runner.
Alaska, known for its majestic scenery, its deadly wildlife, and its tales of epic survival. Deep in the heart of the last frontier, they still play an old game that has cursed families and made fortunes for generations. With names like Wildman, Bananas, and Family Jewels, playing pull tabs or rippin' has never been for the faint of heart. And in no place is that more true than in the wildest parts of Alaska, home to some of the bravest, though some would say most foolish rippers on Earth. This is their story.
Damn!
Rippin' Wild, Alaska.
Welcome back to Alaska Robotics News, and welcome back to our state legislators. Alaskan lawmakers may have been away from Juneau, but they've been hard at work on a variety of issues in the interim. Hot off the presses this week, the report from the Joint Legislative Task Force on Unmanned Aircraft, drones. The Drone Task Force report is like the science project that makes everyone else in school look bad, weighing in at a whopping 111 pages. In stark contrast, the Sustainable Education Task Force turned in a more efficient 2-page report, a report that many teachers in the state are grading harshly. Let's take a closer look at that education report. Now, the Sustainable Education Task Force labels this as their final report, and at 9 paragraphs and 7 bullet points, it may have been better to claim that the dog ate it. The final report makes no substantive recommendations and can be summarized in 4 words. Education funding is challenging. Again, the nerds who knocked together the drone report turned in 111 pages, but maybe it's not fair to compare education to drones. After all, drones are highly sophisticated aerial death machines, and education is merely the sum of all human experience, skill, and knowledge. Perhaps we're being too hard on the Education Task Force, though. This 2-page final report isn't the only document they've produced. There's the riveting travel cost summary document at a more respectable 6 pages. And let's turn to the September 30th newsletter from Task Force co-chair Lynn Gaddis, which weighed in at 4 pages. That newsletter covered such hard-hitting issues as winter is here, checking in with my staff, and peony farms in Alaska. But it wasn't all flowers and changing of the seasons. Representative Gaddis' newsletter also touched on the Education Task Force itself, outlining a goal to have a solid set of recommendation for the House by the time the next legislative session reconvenes in January. Better luck next time.
Hey Sean, it's me. How are you? Probably awesome. I'm less good because I've been having trouble finding someone to talk to. That's why I started this journal. Last year was # awesome when you split aces with SB21. # blackjack. Some days it just seems like no one gets it. It's a simple, balanced equation. BP plus Conoco equals oil. Oil equals jobs. Jobs equal money divided by family. Family is equal to divorce plus alimony, which is equal to money to the second power, plus 2 jobs, and then taxed at 10%. It's just that simple. This year is gonna be the best. We are gonna get a gas pipeline. Okay, lead well, my friend. And remember, always tie a Windsor and keep that part tight. You are the man.
We here at Alaska Robotics News want to set a cooperative tone for this session. As politicians on both sides of the aisle gravitate towards extremes, the true statesman has become an endangered species. Fortunately, through the miracle of modern technology, we now have the Moderator M9000. Here's how it works. The Moderator M9000 takes two seemingly opposed politicians, turns them through the patented Moderatron blades with Dura compromise edges, and voila! Out the other side comes a shiny, new moderate. Here's an example. Les Guerra and Mike Hawker, two men whose ideas for our future couldn't be further apart, but put them through the Moderator M9000, and you get Representative Mess Gawker, who can effortlessly work to promote jobs and industry growth while securing a healthy environment and meaningful education for our children. Or Fred Dyson and Johnny Ellis, two prominent leaders of their respective parties. Even these two old partisan lions can find middle ground thanks to the Moderator M9000. Meet Senator Jed Dicilis. Isn't he a reassuring figure? I know that I'll sleep better tonight with that image in my head. We're interested in hearing who you would like to see paired in the Moderator M9000. Send us news, gossip, and conspiracy theories at hotnewstips4u@alaskarobotics.com. That's news with the letter Z, the number 4, and the letter U, instead of the word, so it's easier to remember. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you to our sponsors. This bill, this cow bill, why now, Representative Chenault?
This whole state's got a fever and the only prescription is more cow bill.